Hey, VC Jack here. Welcome back to Vinyl Martini. As you can see, I am going to do an entry into Japan Vinyl Tag 2024, started by my good buddy Brian, who lives in Tokyo. But before I do that, I just want to remind you that I'm running a little contest myself. You still have a couple of days to do it. This is Thursday, the 19th. The deadline is midnight tomorrow night, your time. On the 20th, I'll be doing a draw on the 21st, and the rules of the contest are really easy. I want you to give a shout out to a deserving channel, and I want you to show me your comps. Comps is a wide open category. It can be greatest hits, it can be compilations. I've had some great responses. I've had about 27 entries so far, so there's always room for some more. I will be doing a draw, like I said, on Saturday. So you still got some time to do it. And if you're worried about the length of your entry, take a lesson from Chris from Record Talk. He did one in 5 minutes or under 5 minutes, so it doesn't have to be long. Anyways, let's get back to this this brilliant contest from Brian. Brian is he's got a great channel. He poses some challenging questions, and that's the way I like these vinyl tags. Brian is celebrating 20 years of living in Tokyo, and he's an expat from the United States. He's from Oklahoma, more precise. I think he's from Tulsa, and he's probably maybe the only Oklahoman that is an expat that lives in Japan. Why is he in Japan? He never told us, but I suspect love has got a little bit to do with it. Anyways, I've got my legal pad with my questions, so let's get on with it because I got lots of records to show. First question, show a record with an OB. Well, I have a Japanese pressing, but I lost the OB long ago. I think I got this in 1974. It is Jeff Beck, Tim Bogert, Carmen Apiece, live. Japanese pressing, beautiful cover. It's got almost like a linen cover to it. Not only was it a Japanese pressing, it was recorded in Osaka. It was produced in Japan by Yuji Takahashi. Inside photographs by a Japanese photographer. I used to have the OB, and it was kicking around, and this was long before the days when we had these things. And it got lost. I got tired of putting it on there, and somehow it just fell off and got thrown in the garbage. But fantastic pressing, comes with a beautiful little book. The American pressing, I think, was a single album. Is that true? Is that possible? There are the credits in Japanese. The lyrics are in English. More credits in Japanese there. So fantastic example of a Japanese pressing. Beck, Bogart, and Apiece. I pronounce his name Apiece. I've heard about 3 or 4 different ways of pronouncing Carmen's last name. Okay, question number 2. Show a Japanese band or artist. And I don't have any Japanese bands or artists per se, but I do have this record. It's called Go Live from Paris. And the leader of this band is Tsutomu Yamashita from Japan. It's a project that involves Steve Winwood, Michael Shreve, Klaus Schultz, Al Di Meola, Karen Friedman. So a wide variety of artists on here joining Tsutomu. Tsutomu is a drummer, I believe, percussion and piano. He's a pianist, so happy to have this. I showed this on Chris's contest entry for the show records from every continent. I use this for Asia. So, Tsutomu Yamashita. Question number 3. Show a record that would be a perfect soundtrack to watching a sunrise. That's a toughie. But I picked out this Sandy Denny album. Lovely album. The North Star Grassmen and the Ravens. She wrote most of the songs. She also includes a Dylan cover, like she always does. She includes Down in the Flood, but this is a fantastic English folk country rock album. Sandy's got one of the best, or had one of the best voices. We lost her tragically many years ago. Fantastic singer. If you never checked out Sandy Denny, give her a listen. Like I said, one of the best voices of the 70s, female voices. Number 4, City Sounds. Show a record with a city vibe. Well, that's seems like an easy question, but I landed on this one. This is the Stranglers' first album, Radus Norvegicus. And it says 4 on the front, but this is their first album from 1977. Goodbye Toulouse is on here, London Lady, Princess of the Streets, Hanging Around, Peaches, Get a Grip on Yourself. Just classic. You can't imagine these guys recording this in the country. This is a city sound indeed. The Stranglers' first record. Number 5, Zen Listening. Show a record that quiets your mind. How about Brian Eno's first or second record? I think it's his second record. It's called Taking Tiger Mountain by Strategy. Recorded a couple of years after he left Roxy Music. Fantastic record. Of course, he's got Taking Tiger Mountain on here. Burning Airlines, Give You So Much More. I mean, every cut on here is just very soothing, and it's not what you expect from somebody that used to be in a rock band like Roxy Music. But Brian Eno, Taking Tiger Mountain by Strategy. Fantastic, almost Andy Warholian cover. Brian Eno. Go Go Godzilla. Question number 6. A record that destroyed your expectations. Well, destroyed a lot of people's expectations, but how about Nevermind the Bollocks, the Sex Pistols' one and only record. Groundbreaking, fantastic songs on here. Just blew everybody away. Didn't catch on for a while. Very brash band, of course. Johnny Lydon leading the band. Glenn Matlock providing a lot of the songs on here. Just fantastic. Steve Jones playing guitar. And so Glenn Matlock, who plays bass. Is that true? Yes. Glenn Matlock on bass. But anyways, fantastic record. And I'm also going to show this bootleg I have of the same material, not the same album. But these are outtakes. And actually these outtakes, this is a bootleg called Sex Pistols. And I've had this for a long time. The mixes on here beat these mixes down, hands down. Fantastic kick-ass versions of the songs here. These ones were a little bit subdued, I think. These ones really, really shine. So, Nevermind the Bollocks, the Sex Pistols. Question number 7. Ahead of its time, a record that was ahead of its time. Well, I'm going to show this record from a very, very fertile period in British music. This is Roxy Music, For Your Pleasure. This is the first Roxy Music record I heard. A friend of mine's younger brother was really into British music from that really fertile period of 1969 to 1975. But fantastic record, dark, mysterious, got some great grooves on here. And of course, Brian Eno played on this band, and I was a little bit wary of listening to a band that looked like these guys, that kind of glam look that they adopted. But the glam look wasn't really indicative of what the music was inside. Fantastic record, For Your Pleasure. Just a second. Okay, got it. I'm back on track. Number 8, Take a Walkman. A song, a Walkman staple that puts a strut in your step. Well, that's, in other words, what would you like to tape on a cassette and play on your Walkman while walking around your neighborhood? Well, I've chosen Herbie Hancock's breakthrough album, Headhunter. Fantastic, groovy, funky record. Love to just walk around with those in my headphones. Fantastic record. Some people say Bitches Brew was the biggest selling jazz album, but I think actually, in actual fact, this one sold more copies than Bitches Brew, and it came out in 1973. So a little while after Bitches Brew. Herbie Hancock's Headhunter. Fantastic record. A Bullet Train. Show a record that takes you on a train ride. Well, I couldn't do this without showing a Drive-By Truckers record. This is The Dirty South, fantastic double record from the Drive-Bys again, fantastic artwork. The artist's name just escapes me right now. He just passed away. I've talked about him before. Great cover, great packaging from New West Records again, and some great songs on here. Where the Devil Don't Stay, Putting People on the Moon. Danko Manuel is fantastic. Excuse me. Goddamn Lonely Love. Every song is just a brilliant masterpiece of alt country rock, southern rock. Love the Drive-By Truckers, and that's what I take on a bullet train and listen to on the headphones. Number 10, Lost in Translation. Share a record that makes you feel you're in another world. Well, how about Lee Oscar's first album? Lee Oscar is a name that everybody might recognize, but he's not really known, except that he is the harp player for War, and he's got a little harp on here. It's got the War insignia. You would think that Lee Oscar, as the harp player for War, would be black or at least come from the Oakland area, but no, he's a Danish harp player. He's done about 6 or 7 solo records. This is all instrumental music, just beautiful, lush, funky music, led by his fantastic harp playing. So Lee Oscar's first album, self-titled album. Number 11, Show a Live Record. And the subtitle of that question is Live at the Budokan. Well, I'm going to show you fantastic live album. I happen to have it on Mobile Fidelity. I never knew what Mobile Fidelity was when I bought this record. I bought it for about 35 bucks, but it is the band Rock of Ages. Fantastic concert, just a fantastic set, 3-record set. Everything you'd ever want to hear by the band is on this one, and just fantastic. Recorded at it's recorded in New York City, I think in Brooklyn, at the Academy of Music. Is the Academy of Music in Brooklyn, or is it in Manhattan? I'm not sure right now. The Academy of Music, New York, on the eclipse of New Year 1971-1972. Fantastic. This is the band firing on all cylinders. Rock of Ages. Vinyl Bar DJ. What record would you play? Well, Brian, apparently in Tokyo there's these DJ record bars where you go in and you've got to be very quiet, very reverent. You can't take out your phone, you can't make a phone call, you can't look at your phone even. And I think typically they probably play jazz albums, but I think a beautiful album to play in a vinyl DJ bar is John Lennon's first album, the Plastic Ono Band. Of course, produced by Phil Spector, and one of the few albums that Phil didn't mess around with. Beautiful, sparse sound on this. Fantastic, lonely, introspective songs on here. John Lennon's first and probably his best album. Plastic Ono Band. Island Nation. Show a record that evokes an island vibe. Well, maybe this doesn't fit the category, but this fulfills a Latin vibe, so maybe Puerto Rico, but this is Jose Chapito Arias's first solo album. Fantastic record. If you don't recognize the name, he played in Santana. This is a beautiful Latin album. So funky, it's just so many sounds that just take you back to the beach in California or Puerto Rico or wherever you want to go, but fantastic record. If you ever see this record, I've only seen it once or twice out in the wild. I don't think it sold a lot of copies, but believe me, it is fantastic and worth having. Chapito Arias. Next page, we're getting there, folks. Show a monsoon season. Show a rainy day record. Well, man, this record, you can play it on a sunny day, you can play it at night, you can play it in the morning, but this is a fantastic record. Every time I pull it out to play it, it ends up staying on my turntable for a couple of days at least. This is Joni Mitchell's masterpiece, Hejira. Joni at the peak of her powers, of course, Amelia's on here, Coyote, so many great songs. Furry Sings the Blues, Song for Sharon, every song is a gem. Beautiful, beautiful album, and great for playing on a rainy day, for sure. Joni Mitchell, Hejira. Next question, number 15, is Wabi Sabi. Show me an imperfect record. Okay. I'm going to show you one of the classics. A lot of these are classics. None of these are, you know, blindingly rare or anything like that. But how about Bob Dylan, Blonde on Blonde? Perfect album for me. It's an imperfect album for me because, and a lot of people are going to disagree with me, I think the record is marred by the inclusion of Rainy Day Women on the first side, first track. I think it's a little bit of a goofy song on an otherwise perfect album, but you don't have to agree with me on that. I still don't skip the song. I still play it, but I go and get a cup of coffee or a drink when I drop the needle and start the record. So, Blonde on Blonde. Of course, I don't have to say anything else about that. Origami Me. I can't even speak today. Show a record that has intricate packaging. Well, I guess there's lots of records with intricate packaging, but I'm going to show a family record. It was called Fearless. This is from about 1973, I believe. I'll show you how it works out. It's like this, and then like this, and then like this, and then like that. So die cut, intricate. I'm sure the record company was really delighted when the art production department came up with this one. But not only is it a fantastic packaged album, it's a fantastic album. Family is one of my favorite bands from the early to mid 70s. Family, Fearless, great packaging on that. Number 17, Fusion Frenzy. Share a record that fuses genres. Well, I guess a lot of people are going to show jazz fusion, but I'm going to buck the trend and I'm going to show one of my favorite artists, Doug Somm, Sir Doug and the Texas Tornadoes, Texas rock for country rollers. Fantastic mix of rock, Tex-Mex, yeah, just old rock and roll, country music, fantastic album. Of course, Augie Myers is on here. This is a record that I don't see very often, but it is fantastic. It's on ABC Downhill. If you're a Doug Somm fan, check this one out. Well worth the look. Okay. Tokyo Nights. What's your nighttime music? Well, I'm going to show you this record. This is an instrumental album by Muscle Shoals session man Pete Carr. He's got a couple records out. I only have this one. This is his first album from 1976. Fantastic guitar player. Never gets mentioned in the VC. Joined by fellow Muscle Shoals musicians. Like I said, it's just instrumental, just fantastic. It's funky, it's bluesy. Great rhythm section and great production on this as well. So this is Pete Carr. Not a word on it. Totally instrumental. And in honor of Brian, I thought I'd give an honorable mention as well. I am going to show, because it's got such a great song on it, and it relates to Tokyo. This is Elvis Costello's Blood and Chocolate, and one of his best songs that I don't think I've ever heard anybody ever mention this song on the VC, but Tokyo Storm Warning. What a Dylan-esque song that is. Definitely reminds me of Tokyo, and I do listen to this late at night as well. It's a great record, Blood and Chocolate by Elvis Costello. All right. End of the Day, a record for the end of the day. Well, I couldn't resist this, Brian. Fellow Oklahoman, the great J.J. Cale. This is his 1984 record, I believe, 1984, 1985. J.J. Cale, Travelogue. He was a little bit lost in the wilderness when he recorded this record, but just J.J. Cale has never recorded a bad album. He's just got his own laid-back style, laid-back sound. Fantastic guitar player. Love J.J. Cale, and he never shouts at you. It's always pretty laid back. So, fellow Oklahoman, J.J. Cale for you there, Brian. And last but not least, it's called, the subtitle is called Last Samurai. Question number 20. Choose a record you would like played at your funeral. Well, that's a little bit morose, isn't it? But entirely appropriate, because who hasn't thought of the music that you would have played at your funeral? So, the dark and mysterious Leonard Cohen, Songs of Love and Hate. Fantastic record, dark, poetic, sparse, and some of his best songs on here. Love Calls You By Your Name, Dress Rehearsal Rag, Last Year's Man, Diamonds in the Mine, Sing Another Song, Boys, fantastic Joan of Arc, and he closes off the album with the fantastic Famous Blue Raincoat. So, Leonard Cohen, that would annoy a lot of people at the funeral, don't you think? Because Leonard Cohen's got such a great voice, such a great pop voice. So, Leonard Cohen, I love this record, love Leonard Cohen. Anyways, that's all I got for you, folks. Till Saturday when I do my draw. Thanks, Brian, for doing that. That was a great challenge to do that. You got a great channel, buddy, and hope you enjoyed that. I'm going to send you a note. Till the next time, I'll see you later, and cheers, guys.